Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, some motivational, back with another day trade and spy recap. Real quick, I want to say thank you all for all the likes, the comments, the subscribes. Thank you guys for all the views. Thank you guys for all the love you guys show me. Thank you guys for sticking with me through the journey. Thank you guys for learning and getting better with me every single day and just sticking with me. I really appreciate every single one of y'all. And let's get straight into it, okay? So today we have a live trade. We are in a trade to the downside. I will show y'all why I got in for that. Okay, I will show y'all why we got into the trade in a bit, but let's go over the data and some very good news that we have coming out today, okay? So today we had economic data, which was really good. Today we had CPI, PPI. No, I'm sorry. Tomorrow we have core PPI. Today we had CPI. We had CPI and core inflation rates month on month, year after year, crude oil stock exchange changes. And we had core inflation rate year after year. The consensus was going to be 2.9, previous was 2.8, and it came out 2.8. Month on month, previous was 0.2, consensus was 0.3. And okay, so my take profit is right here with this liquidity right here because we have relative equal lows right here, and it's breaking down. That's why I had to kind of jump to it real quick. And so we have relative equal lows right here, so that's what I'm targeting. I'll get more into it. And so we had inflation rates pretty good. They're down from previous and down from the consensus where people thought it was consensusly going to be. CPI actual is 321, forecasted 321.6. It came out 321.5. Another CPI reading came out 321.4. And the consensus was 321.9. So that is good. It is breaking down. And so right here, I'm thinking about adding some more size. So that's what I've been really doing because I'm only trading with one contract today. I've only been just trading one contract, and then once I see it like come back down and wick and make like another equal high, that's how we know it's like, I feel like right there is like kind of guaranteed of a win because it's like if we have a equal high, if we're already targeting liquidity, right? As we know, the trade isn't just going to drop straight down. A lot of times it doesn't just fall straight down, right? So it'll probably fall, wick again, and then play around some more. And then at that time, you know you have you have support of three equal wicks. It's like kind of guaranteed that liquidity is going to come and take that out, right? So that's what I've been kind of looking at doing is like trading one contract. Then when I see it's like really right now because this trade was a little more risky to me than a normal one. That's why I traded one contract yesterday. I traded with one contract because honestly just being on the safe side, but today was just like more of a riskier trade I feel like for me. Um but that is what I'm looking at doing. Scaling up whenever I see us like, probably like making like another equal low, and then I'm be like, oh yeah, and then I'll probably add like one or two more contracts, okay? So I'm trying to get through this data, but I gotta make sure, okay? So excuse me, my good people. So crude oil stock exchange, sorry, I just spit on you good people. Crude oil stock exchange, crude oil stock change negative 3.6. Previous was negative 4.3, and consensus was negative 2. So that came out bad. Another EIA gasoline stock change. I keep saying exchange. Stocks change 1.5. Consensus was 0.9. So that is the stock change and crude oil imports change didn't come out fairly good, but the inflation rates and CPIs came out really good, and that is really good. As we know, lower inflation, the Fed is willing to cut rates. But what is the very good news that we had come out? So today, Trump said our deal with China is done. Our deal with China is done, subject to the final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and any necessary rare earths will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, I mean, that sounds good. I mean, I'm not, I don't really know about, that's pretty much beyond us, what our trade deals. But I mean, if we have 55% tariffs on them and they only have 10% on us, that sounds pretty good. We're getting rare earth minerals, and those rare earth minerals go into like the chips that we make. So that is good for our AI chips, our semiconductors. Um, and so that is good. We have a deal worked out. He didn't go too much in detail, but that is good news, right? And then what he also followed up and said was adding, adding to the China readout. President Xi and I are going to work closely together to open up China to American trade. This would be a great win for both countries. But he also said something about interest rates. Okay, he said, okay, no, not that. I'm looking for it. He posts a lot. So he says CPI just out, great numbers because inflation numbers were lower than expected. CPI just out, great numbers. Fed should lower 1 full point, would pay much less interest on debt coming due. So important. So our debt is coming due, and so he wants to lower the interest rates as well as, I mean, our inflation is down, so interest rates would be good to be lowered for the economy and boost the economy up. But also because of the U.S.'s national debt, if they have to pay a higher interest rate, I think it's something like 1 point something trillion that they're gonna have to pay in interest, and that's why he also wants the rates lowered so they can pay less on their debt, and so the debt won't keep rising so much, because it'd be like 1 trillion and something that they'll be paying in just in interest for their debt if these rates don't get lowered, right? So that's what he's saying. And so that is pretty much it. We had some really good news. That is really good news. The China deal's worked out, and that is also why we're so pumped up, because he was already talking about the China deal going to be worked out. And so we've pumped up. Yesterday we pumped all the way up to high of 603.47, and we ended off at 603.23, right? So I mean, that is huge. That is pretty big. I'm trying to see. Okay, I was trying to see like where my entry point was. I'll get into it, okay? And so that is huge. I mean, we pretty much like ran up, and it ran up a little bit more today. And so we actually gapped up before market open, and we gapped up to the 604.27. And that is looking good, right? Because we broke down, and now we're coming up to fill this gap to the downside. That is actually, this trade is actually looking fairly good to come back down to the downside. And so we gapped up a little bit, and then we got sold off kind of to fill that gap. Got sold off a little bit down here, and then we turned around and ran up. Why didn't I get in on this pump? Well, honestly, I just didn't get in. I didn't see really like any liquidity to target, because as we know, I want to target liquidity because I want to know where my take profits are. I want to be targeting liquidity, or if we're running up, if I know we're running up, I will get in on the trend. But it just wasn't too sure, right? I mean, because we had this huge sell-off to open, had this huge down, got bought up, and we started getting bought up. But as you see, we started consolidating, and that's what I looked at when we started consolidating. And then I was like, okay, well, we don't have nothing to fill over here, right? We don't have nothing to fill down here. Like, okay, I mean, maybe if it wants to fill this 5-minute gap, right? Fair value gap. But I was like, in that 5-minute fair value gap, I scaled down to my 1 minute, right? There is nothing to fill. All of this is filled, right? All of this is filled. And this is kind of like trend line. This is kind of like trend line liquidity, right? And so I was like, there's nothing to fill. If you come down and fill that 5-minute, okay, cool. But in the 1 minute, there's nothing to fill. And then that 5-minute fully closed, and I could still lose this trade, you know what I mean? My stop loss is up here, so I could still lose this trade. I mean, It's looking fairly good to the downside, but I mean, currently I'm negative. It's only one contract, so if I lose, I'd probably be negative $40. Um, if I win, it'd probably be upwards of $40 because this is only a 1.7 to 1, so it'd probably be 40-50 bucks if I get all of these lows, and depending on how much more it drops, but we'll see. Um, so it's looking fairly good, but I mean, you never know. I could still lose because we do have a bunch of good news that's coming out, so it could not want to drop. It could be one to continue to pump, but I have my good reasons why I got in. I have my setup. It's because we invalidated this 5-minute fair value gap as well. In this 5-minute fair value gap, we didn't have any fair value gaps in the 1 minute. Everything was filled in the 1 minute. So in the 5-minute, actually closed way below there and invalidated that 5-minute fair value gap. This 5-minute candle didn't fill nothing, right? Everything right here is filled. As you see, there's no gaps, there's no nothing. Everything right here is filled, right? So, okay, we dropped down and then we got our pullback, kind of like yesterday. We got our pullback. So what did it do? It had a consolidation, it ranged, dropped down, and it could have been a range manipulation and then an actual another move up. But again, there was no areas to fill as well. If it wanted to use this 5-minute fair value gap, it invalidated this, right? So it invalidated this 5-minute fair value gap. It gave us our pullback into this big 5-minute candle. So remember, when we have a huge 5-minute whenever we have a huge 5-minute candle like this, that means there are 1-minute fair value gaps. So I scaled down to my 1 minute and I got in right around this one, right? Because we touched this top fair value gap. This is the highest bearish fair value gap, right? So it touched this fair value gap. I got in right around this candle, and my stop loss on the top of all of my candles, right? On the top of all of my fair value gaps, right? So my stop loss up here. And then another reason why, not just fair value gap, fair value gap invalidation. What I also seen was the invalidation, the drop down to not filling no areas, and also what did we do? We wicked down and created another equal low, right? We created an equal low right here, right? And this is also a range right here. So I feel like it's going to come down, sweep all these equal lows, sweep this range, and potentially touch like a 5-minute fair value gap down here, right? Because we have, well, that's a 1 minute. Sorry about that. And it could potentially, come down. I don't know where it would fill, but that's where my take profit would be because we have these equal lows, right? So I'm not sure where it would want to stop at. Price is going to do what it wants to do. But that is also why, because we dropped down, we invalidated this fair value gap. There was no areas to fill down here. Excuse my good people. And then we wicked down to an equal low, so creating easy liquidity. Got my pullback into my 5-minute candle, scaled down to my 1 minute. 1 minute bearish fair value gap, the highest fair value gap I could get. Got in right here, one contract for $137, and now I'm writing it down for my take profit to these equal lows. Okay, so we're seeing what's gonna happen. It's looking fairly good. It is looking fairly good. But as we know, we are under some good news right now. So, I mean, we could get wiped out. But we are in some good news. we are looking good. We do have these equal lows. And so that is why I like to target these equal lows and equal highs, because that is easy wins on those easy liquidity grabs. Because as you know, price is going to take out those equal lows. It's going to take out the equal highs, right? And so that's why we're pretty excited on these trades, right? So we're up $25 right now, $30, and remember, I'm up 20% on my contracts right now. Yeah, we're up $30. I'm up 30%. 20% of my contracts right now. Remember, if I had 3 contracts in, it would be $90. If I had 4 contracts, so remember, it's not really the money. It's more about the percentage of your contracts and your percentage size, right? Because I only put 1 contract in, right? If I would have got stopped out, I would have got stopped out probably about $30, right? Up here, I was down about $24, right? So, and that was right near my stop loss. So I would have been stopped out probably about $35. But if I win, I'll probably be up about 50, maybe $60, depending on how much it wants to fall. And whenever I cut my loss, right? Cut my win. And so, remember, it's just all about your contract size, right? So I'm not playing with much, and so I'm being more on the conscious side, right? So let's see, my good people, and please let me know if you guys like for me to hop on trades whenever, hop on and make these videos whenever I'm in the trade. A lot of times I do it when it's more convenient because sometimes I have to be to work early, and so I just want to make the video and get out everything. I don't want to have to wait till trade's over, because sometimes the trade will literally hit take profit literally like as soon before, like right before I have to leave to go to work, and so that's why it's more convenient for me to sometimes make the videos while I'm in the trade. Okay, but I like to show you guys my if I like to show you guys my reaction whenever I win, or if I haven't actually lost on live yet. So I think y'all are good luck, but I want to show you guys my reaction of both of them. So that's why I do like it. So right now we're up 25 bucks. And honestly, we do want to add more size because man, I do like yesterday I made 40 bucks on a really good trade, and I could have, if I would have let that winner run, it would have been 100. It wouldn't have been 100%. I take that back. I would have made over 100 bucks, but it would have probably been about 80% of my contract, right? On this move down here. Boom, 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 boom. Remember I called it early because it started waking up, but then after I got out, it just tanked. I said tunk. It tanked. So it would have been over 100 bucks, 100 bucks plus just on one contract, right? But obviously, right, we wish we would have, not really wish, but it's like, man, if I would have had more size, I would have made more money. You know what I'm saying? But, we're playing it cautious because, like, this setup, it's a good setup, right? I mean, it's a good setup. We invalidated no areas to fill, like I showed you guys, and pulled back up. We created equal lows. We pulled back, bearish fair value gap in our 1 minute. 5 minute is just a big candle, right? So the 1 minute, that means there's a fair value gap, right? And that's why we took it, right? So it's a good setup, but probably not the most confident or best setup in the world. Like, probably I'd say B plus, not A plus, right? And so like yesterday was a good one, right? We swept these highs. Yesterday was probably an A plus setup, because not an A plus, but an A setup, because we did sweep out these highs, and then we came down and validated this fair value gap that broke structure, and then we pulled back up into that 5 minute big candle and the 1 minute fair value gap. We got it on there, and then we had all these equal highs down here. And remember, I told you guys there was trend line liquidity, and we came down and swept all of that, right? And so that was probably a setup. Today probably it's pretty much the same setup almost, right? Pretty much the same setup, right? Pretty much the same setup. So we're just being patient, Please, guys, if you guys want to have some insight, if you guys want to have more insight with me, follow my Instagram. It's curly. No, my bad, not curly. That was my old one. Devo so motivational. Is my Instagram. Man, I don't like how that lighting is. So if I don't like how the lighting looks, I'm pretty sure you guys don't like how the lighting is. Jesus. And it's fighting back, right? And as you guys know, as I just said, like, price doesn't like to be that easy. A lot of times it isn't just going to hit your fair value gap and just tank, right? And that's why I told you guys yesterday I like to be in my 5 minute, because if I would have seen all this, it's like kind of just plays with your emotions. You're like, But if I'm in my 5 minute, I'm kind of cooling. It's just chiller for me to react to price in my 5 minute. Obviously, if it comes back like towards my stop loss, I'm gonna go to my 1 minute to see if it stops me out. So I can lessen that stop, right? To see if it stops me out. I don't want to have a full 5 minute candle because it's just gonna be pumping. That's why I would be in my 1 minute when it goes to my stop loss. But like during the trade, I just want to stay in my 5 minute because it's just less drama, right? Less drama for me, less heartache. So again, my Instagram is Devo so motivational if you guys want to be more in touch with me on Instagram. And I want to see, maybe if it drops down and creates another wick and pops back up, maybe I will add more size, because right now it's looking fairly good. But I mean, it's still no guarantee. But if it drops down and creates another wick, pops up, I'd probably add more size because at that point, it's three equal lows. Price is gonna sweep them out, right? But nothing is guaranteed. But that's when it's looking like really good, right? So we're looking good. Come on, dude. We're up $60 already. Oh yeah, it just hit take profit. Oh nope, it hasn't broke it yet. It hasn't broke yet. Oh yeah, it's creating another equal low. It's probably gonna fly through. Yeah, we're up $55 still. Yeah, it created another equal low. Oh, up $70. Let me see if it's gonna keep falling. It wicked it. Let me see if it wants to keep breaking through. I don't want to call the loss too early. It's not letting me get out. All right, let me get out. Man. So that's only up $55. But you guys see it, right? And it created another equal low. It broke it, but it wicked it. It wicked it and created another equal low. So that could potentially be another entry. I probably should have wrote it out. But that was a lot of profits that it had pulled back because I was up over $80 and it was pulling back quick. So that's why I called it. That was what? How much? Let me see. It could potentially break it down again. It will probably break it down again because look, relative equal lows again. So I don't know if I want to enter another trade for that because as you see, them buyers bought it back up quick. Because I was up again. I was up over $80 and it waked up so fast that I only made $55. But again, that was 40% of my contract. Let's see, because let's go down to our 1 minute. Okay, yeah, they bought it up quick, right? They defended that area. So now it's looking pretty good. Now, would we want to have our stop loss, our entry right here? Because that is filling a little gap. Like one more contract. But I don't, yeah, that's not really worth it. Because our stop loss has to be like up here. If we want to have a good one, right? So, man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I would enter again. But because we did hit the take profit, right? We did technically take out this low, right? But we just didn't take it out as much as I wanted to at all. We didn't take it out as much as I wanted to at all, right? So, you see this little wick? It barely touched it. It barely touched it. That's why I didn't call it because I thought it was going to keep tanking. And I didn't want to call my win too early. I mean, it could end up falling some more. It could end up falling some more. But yeah, so we don't want to trend chase it. We're already down all the way down here, right? We hit our take profits, right? We hit our take profits. We wanted a little bit of a bigger drop than that, but we hit our take profits and we're up over $80. We try to let it ride and it wicked us up to only $55. And remember, that is one contract. That was 40% of one contract. So if I would have had $500 in, I would have made about 200 or something. 40% of that 500, right? So it's all about your contract size. Remember, we were trading light size, but you guys see how supply and demand and target liquidity. Try to find these equal highs, equal lows. Try to find your trend. You know what I'm saying? Try to figure out what's going on in the trade, right? Because not all the time you're going to have equal highs, equal lows. Right here, I didn't get in on the trade because, right, there was nothing for me to really look at. And then we popped down and created this equal low. I was like, now you talking to me. That's when I was like, now you talking to me. An equal low, a pullback into that 5 minute candle, 1 minute fair value gap. Now we talking. Let's take out the equal lows. You see what I'm saying? But I can get in on the trend too to chase new highs. But right now we're not chasing really new highs. We are trending higher, but it's more of a chop higher, right? So that's why I'm just trying to find these liquidity areas to target, right? And so that is pretty much it. I hope you guys like the live trade. I love every single one of you guys who are sticking with me. Actually, before we go, let's see what we have tomorrow. Excuse my good people. Let's see what we have tomorrow. We have PPI. So man, we wish we would have made that $80. We wish we would have made the $80, but we try to let the winter ride, and it wicked up, right? That is why, again, that is why I usually call my trades so early, because just like how we seen it wake up so quick, I've seen that happen before, and that's why I be calling my trades early, because don't want them to wick my profit away, and so that's why I've learned from that to try to let your winners run, and I just try to let my winner run, and it wicks some profit. But I'm okay with it, right? Because I rather try to let my winner run, because more times than not, that is going to pay off. Like yesterday, if I seen it wicking up, and that is why I did call it, but then it tanked, right? The other times where you see me that one week make $560 on those banger trades where it just fell like $3-4, if I would have let those ride, I would have been up over $1,000 that week. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm okay with wicking some of my profit away, because more times than not, if I let my winners run, they're going to reward me massively, okay? And so tomorrow we have PPI, food, energy, and trade, another PPI month to month, another PPI, food, energy, and trade year after year, another PPI year after year, continuous jobless claims, initial jobless claim, core PPI month to month. So tomorrow can be a big day, and it could be a pump up. I could see tomorrow being potential pump up if those numbers come out good. We do have some liquidity up here. We have all this up here. We have this up here. So, I mean, we could later on in the day take all this out. I'm not going to lie. We could take all this out later on in the day. Let's see in my 5 minute if we have any demand areas. Any supply areas. See, all of this is filled up here. So, I mean, this pullback and stuff, it could just be playing around to eventually take these lows out again, because it did take out the equal low, technically, right? That's why I called my trade. But it wicked it with a small little wick again, right? So it could take it out again. I'm gonna be a little upset because I wish I would have, but no, I'm not upset, But obviously, I wish it would have just fell with me right away, right? Because I'm not gonna play with my profit, because it did technically wick it, and take them out technically, but it's such a little wick, and it kind of just created another equal low. And so I could have called my trade too early, and it could just break through massively. But I don't want to keep repeating it. But again, it did technically take it out. It just wicked it heavy. And so it could take them all out again. But it hit take profits technically, okay? And so tomorrow could be a run up, to clear all this. And tomorrow could be pushing us up, right? Could be pushing us up to more local highs, to newer local highs, okay? With these CPIs was good. PPI be coming out good tomorrow if it does. And then, do we have Fed talking this week? I don't think the Fed is talking this week. I don't see nothing, but I'm pretty sure the Fed should be talking soon. And as we know, he will get questions on if he's going to cut rates, because we do have some good data coming out, and so we'll see what he says. So we could be having pumps coming in. Could be having more pumps coming in tomorrow and later on in the week, okay? That is pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long. I love every single one of you guys who's sticking with me through the journey. Please let me know if you guys like the live trades. I like getting on here while I'm in a trade, because you guys are good luck. I swear you guys are good luck. Every time I hop on with a trade, I end up winning the trade, all right? We're pretty much on a hot streak. We are hot, right? Last week, we were winning. We really haven't lost a trade. We lost that one trade with $50. But the other trade where I trend chased and was trying to revenge trade, that was not a strategy one. That was where I let my emotions get the best of me. I'm not doing that no more. I told you guys, and I've been good since then. I've been good, and I'm not going back to that, because I just like I told you guys, discipline is going to keep your money, but your skills are going to make the money, right? And so we're good. We're not doing that no more. We're keeping our profits, and we're being disciplined. So we've been a little bit on a hot streak. Like our trades that we've gotten like skillfully have been panning out and been hitting really good, right? And so we've really been on a hot streak, all right? I love every single one of you guys who stick with me through the journey. And remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate. Make sure I get paid, all right? Peace.